Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Ticcing Together. As always, the goal of this channel is to provide education about and to raise awareness as to what it's like living with Tourette syndrome. In today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be focusing more on neurodiversity rather than strictly Tourette syndrome. But having Tourette syndrome does make me a part of the neurodiversity spectrum. So I thought this video might help you guys out there if you are like me and are neurodivergent and are like, are these things I'm doing normal? Are these just neurodivergent things? I don't know. We're gonna talk about them here and discuss and see like, okay, these are 5 things that I feel like neurodivergent people do that most normal people don't do. And I kind of had like a revelation. I got rice. Hi. I kind of had like a weird revelation tonight and I will talk about it in a little bit. I kind of realized that yeah, I am super neurodivergent. This isn't a normal person thing that I'm doing and I will get into it, but these are 5 things that I feel like neurodivergent people all probably relate to. So if you are watching this and you are neurodivergent, or if you're watching this and you're not, but if you relate to any of these 5 points, I would be so genuinely appreciative if you would comment down below letting me know if you relate, because I feel super alone and I really would love to feel validated with your guys' help by commenting and letting me know if I am the only one that experiences this, but I highly doubt it. So if you experience it, please let me know and relate to me in the comment section. Okay, let's get into it. 5 neurodivergent things. The first one that I was talking about, my kind of revelation epiphany. Okay. So in my house, we have a furnace. I live in Canada, it is always freezing except for now it's summer, so it's hot, but our furnace is always making our house warm and cozy. However, we are getting it replaced currently, so guess what? Today we have no furnace. And I have kind of been oblivious to the fact that the furnace is directly below my room and there's always a dull hum that I've never really noticed. It's always just been there. There was always a hum, there's always noise, a subtle noise, just a little bit, but I never have complete silence. And so, guys, the furnace is being replaced, as I said. So currently, currently we don't have a furnace. And there is complete silence in my room. Let's just say that after sitting in my room for a solid 5 minutes without sound, I was crying. I was in tears because I was in physical discomfort and pain. So I guess the first point in this neurodiversity video is that silence is painful and sounds can be painful. Kind of like a sensory overload type thing, but there was no noise. And I felt like I was being constricted and just pressed into, and I was in pain. And I don't know if this makes sense to people that aren't neurodivergent, but having no noise at all, I have my fan on now so I hear something. But when there was no noise, like no dull hum, no background, just a little bit of white noise, I was in pain and I actually started sobbing uncontrollably for no reason, just because of the lack of noise. And I think that, And I think that this whole silence being painful thing is really not normal. I know sometimes people say, oh, silence is deafening. Yeah, that's true. But this is actually physically painful. I was crying, I was shaky, I was almost having a panic attack just because it was too quiet. And this happens too when it's really loud too. If it's too loud, I will start shaking and crying and feeling actually in pain. Like, it's hard to describe, but something in my brain registers the noise or lack of noise as pain. I think that's a neurodivergent thing. So if you relate to that, let me know in the comments. If you have any like solutions for how to live without a furnace that makes noise, let me know, because I'm terrified of sleeping tonight. I just hate not having white noise. And I didn't even know there was any, like, I didn't know it was there in the first place, but without it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. My room feels like a prison because there's no white noise. Point number 2 is weird obsessions. And I've talked about this in my previous neurodiversity video, so I will link that up there if you want to check it out. But weird obsessions and hyperfixations are a thing. And I also have a whole video on hyperfixation, which I will also link up there. But like, okay, hear me out. If you're neurodivergent, do you relate to having the weirdest obsessions that either last forever or like a week solid, and you could have like a dissertation on it within the week and then you're just like done a week later? Is that just me? I don't know. So I've talked about this in previous videos, but as a kid, I was literally obsessed with the movie Beethoven, about the Saint Bernard who finds a family. It's a really happy movie. But even the other day, my brother was like, Carly, on road trips, we watched Beethoven 1 and 2 back to back to back to back to back. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I know that must be awful. But I would just repeatedly watch it. I could recite the whole thing. That's when it really started for me, was the Beethoven obsession. But it led on to Adam Lambert. It led on to Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, Jellycat stuffed animals, these Yetis. The list goes on, and I research them and I lose sleep over it, and I just focus and hyperfixate on these things. And it's not just like a normal obsession, it's a matter of like, I will lose time that is valuable looking at things that don't matter, that I think are really cool, and they're really not cool. So, I don't know. Point number 3 is food avoidance and aversion. This is such a big freaking trigger in my life. It messes up so much for me because I am the pickiest eater. And I don't think it is because I just don't want to eat. It's physically painful and scary almost for me to look at certain foods, to even fathom eating these foods. For example, bananas. I am terrified of bananas. The smell, the texture, the color, anything to do with the senses surrounding bananas or all fruit pretty much terrify me. The texture, the sound it makes when I'm chewing them, I can't do it. Can't do it. And so that's something that I feel like is also pretty neurodivergent, having major food aversions that you just cannot eat or even fathom to eat because it's just like you're so grossed out by them. The thought of food mixing together, like a salad for example, also terrifies me. I like to have my food separate, and I also am very, very picky about texture as well as color and smell. If I don't like something, I will douse it in as much sauce as possible to hide the texture and flavor, but that's just a me thing. I hate it, and I really wish I could eat normal people food. Like, I want to, but I don't eat it because for some reason my brain is telling me like, hey, don't eat this, it's bad. Or like I'll get pain, or I'll gag, or I won't be able to swallow it. It'll be in my mouth and it'll just be like, not swallowing. And it's just a doozy. I hate going to people's houses because I'm genuinely embarrassed. Every time I go to public places, I try and avoid eating with people because I always order the stupidest food and I pick everything off, and it's just so embarrassing. Do you guys relate to that? I don't know. Point number 4 in my neurodiversity video is collecting things. And this one is so stupid. So basically, I will call myself a collector of numerous things. I mentioned these Jellycat stuffed animals. I collected tons of them, and not even just Jellycat. Stuffed animals in general, I collect them. And I'll be like, hey, like whoever I'm with, I need to buy this right now, like let me buy it. Well, can I buy this? Because I'll do so much with it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I promise I'll do everything with it. And then it'll literally just sit on my shelf for the rest of time until I give it away or forget about it. And I think that that is really, really dumb because I've wasted so much money on stuffed animals and other things I've dabbled in collecting, musical instruments, art supplies, fidget toys, room decor, Coca-Cola themed items. I have these weird quirky collections that I just will zone in on it and buy everything I can surrounding it because I just want it. And I collect it and it just sits there. I know where it is around my room, but I just don't really do anything with it. It just sits there. It's pointless. Point number 5 in this video is that friendship is difficult. Friendship is so freaking hard. And I don't know if this is a typical neurodivergent thing, but I have had the hardest time in my life making friends. I am pretty social, but I just feel like I'm always awkward and always looked at like weird. It doesn't help that I have Tourette Syndrome because I'm ticking sometimes, and that's a little bit weird and it kind of like jars people a little bit. So that's hard. But in school, I found group projects to be really hard. I found working with people and collaborating to be hard because I always thought that my ideas were like the way to go. I was like, why aren't we doing this way? Because my goal was to get the best grade. And again, another kind of side note is I was the smartest student in my school. And so that's another neurodivergent thing I think, is just being like ridiculously like smart. I don't think I'm smart, but I was given the highest grades, whatever. And so I don't know how you can be classified as smart without making friends. That is sad for me, not having friends. I don't think I made a solid friend until grade 12, so the last year of school, and that was difficult. Not having friends, literally sitting alone at school every lunch hour in a corner just eating by myself, kind of isolating, not intentionally, but just being so isolated and not having anyone that I could rely on. I would always be the teacher's favorite, but I never had friends, and that sucked. So there you have it. Those are my 5 neurodivergent points for this video. Again, if you guys relate to any of this, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a comment and let me know, because I want to be validated. If you guys like this kind of content surrounding neurodiversity, Tourette syndrome, tic disorders, all that jazz, I would be so appreciative if you would subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell to stay tuned to all of my content. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it or if you relate to it, and again, comment and let me know, or just say hi. I love hearing from you guys. As always, we're learning together, we're laughing together, and we're ticking together. Have a wonderful evening, and see you guys next time.